Welcome to Totally Blitz podcast. We're here to recap the final game of the NFL season, Super Bowl 59. The ass whooping the Eagles laid on the Chiefs for 4 whole quarters. As always, before we jump into it, go down and like and subscribe. Comment what you thought in the Super Bowl. If you cashed some bets, lost some bets, let us know. I'm Paul Pickle Winham, and I'm joined with
You already know, man. It's your boy Kevin Waterboy. It's your boy AK the Don PYE. Always the realest on your screen. And I may not be the Super Bowl champ, but I'm always the people's champ. I hope y'all can see that.
Hey, I will say, Kev, even though you lost the Super Bowl because you went with the Chiefs, and you probably wouldn't even went with the Chiefs if we didn't have Corey on the
Oh
pre-pick.
yeah, 1000%. That's
Even though you went with the Chiefs, you did pull off the three-peat, which the Chiefs couldn't pull off, which was 3 years in a row with the best record on the picks.
oh yeah. Tell them sorry ass niggas they can't keep up with me. But yeah, that shit is beautiful. It's been another season, and I'm not gonna lie. This year, I'm actually gonna cop the belt. Usually, I say I'm gonna cop the belt and all that good shit, but this year might be the year I get the belt. And then next year, I might get like a couple. We might get a couple trophies, and then after that, we're gonna start. We're gonna start. We might have to lock in on those live picks and stuff like that with like the TVs and shit like that.
You already just learned about the live picks
Yeah, kid. I'm trying to.
2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm locking in on the live bets, all that, kid. I'm a picker, kid. But nah, I think it's a beauty to see the end of another football season. I think this is gonna be fun because I plan on being really locked in this off season. So I really want to make sure we drop some episodes in the off season to give them boys set up the draft spectacular, set up the OTA, set up maybe even go to a training camp or something like that this year. But before we can talk any off season shit, we got to talk about how the season ended, and it was with an ass whooping to the Chiefs. And I didn't know I was a Chiefs hater. Like, you know how people say, like, you don't really know somebody's true character until you put in that time. I'm talking about the entire time I was watching the Chiefs get fucked up. And I was like, oh, this is like when Cooper DeJean got the pick six, I started motherfucking jumping. Get it. Get it. I'm like, fuck that. Get in there. Get it. Because it was the nigga birthday kid. I'm like, yo, get in there. Hey, I'm looking at everybody. Block, get that boy in there. And then when my dog, what's his name? Zach Bond, whatever. What's the
Zach
name?
Bond, middle linebacker.
Zach Bond, that's my dude. Like I've been keeping up with him a lot this season. And motherfucking when he got that pick, I was like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is cooked. This nigga look like Aaron Rodgers right now.
Defensive MVP, and he was I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, because they brought it up on the broadcast, like he was either released by his former team or it was like no one really wanted him in free agent. I can't. It was just one of those stories where like the Eagles are kind of like, bro, no one wants him. Shit, fuck. All right, we'll take Zach Bond, and then here he goes with fucking having. He was in the running for the best defensive player of the year.
No, facts.
And showed his ass fucking with that pick in the right after the Gene interception, and he think maybe Mahomes got a little bit something, bro. Nah, fucking another one.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at Mahomes for that one because his old lineman got pushed into him. Like I think I can't. This is what will kill me, right? You can't say Patrick Mahomes got his ass beat by the Eagles. That entire Chiefs team, except Xavier Worthy, for like the last quarter, motherfucking looked utterly terrible. There was not one player I was like, yo, this motherfucker's a killer. They tackled like a motherfucker. I will say that. I was like, yo, John Gruden was breaking it down that the Chiefs were the number one tackling team. Even though every game in the playoffs, they've kind of let a running back get off on their ass with Joe Mixon and James Cook. They was like, yo, this is a tackling ass team. And they stuck to their fucking guns. We gonna fucking tackle. And that's all they did.
Yeah, Saquon, they bottled up Saquon, and then it was kind of poetry how Hurts was kind of like this. A lot of people would have said if Saquon gets like 50 yards in this game, there's no way that they win this game. And like fucking Hurts breaking it down with his legs, making a few passes to AJ Brown over the top. Devontae Smith, the deep bomb where everybody thinks Saquon's getting it after they get the turnover on downs, and they just throw like a 50-yard bomb to Devontae Smith for the touchdown, which was just
crazy.
That a lot of people are saying it's also the backbreaker right there, and that was just but Cooper DeJean, back to him. People were saying that like the all-white team had stock is like through the roof. Like our only weakness was the secondary. And like the team was like, oh, hold on now, we made our weakness our strength.
That's a top tier white man.
PFF had him as the highest graded corner on the season. Also, if you take PFF, I love PFF. People hate on it, but I love PFF because if it's good for my argument, I'm gonna use it. But if it's not good for the argument I'm trying to make, I'm like, bro, some fucking nerds. Who cares? So that's why I love PFF. But yeah, no, the game, Eagles cashed out. Jalen Hurts. I don't know if you, because I know you don't really be watching like TV like that, but YouTube ads even fucking the whole Disney Channel fucking. I'm going to Disney World, and it shows like the highlights of the Super Bowl. But the Eagles are on cloud nine right
Oh, bro, the Eagles did their fucking thing. There was not one point in this game where they looked crazy. And I talked about it on my Manifest Monday on Instagram Live. I think this game had a lot to do with pressure. There was a lot of pressure on both sides. Everybody had a lot of motherfucking pressure. But the difference is there's only two options when it comes to when you're hella pressure. They're either bust pipes or create diamonds. When you're under tremendous pressure, only two things can happen. Either your pipes get bust or you motherfucking are created diamonds. And you've seen the two. You've seen the Chiefs, like, they didn't get the calls this game. They had to deal with this motherfucking insane pass rush. They had to deal with a secondary that was gonna trick you. They had to deal with a Vic Fangio who people were writing off. This nigga, Vic Fangio's been a fucking coach since the 80s.
Yeah, they were pulling up, I think like 45 years or something like
Yeah,
that.
1986 or some shit like that was his first. I can't remember if it was 1981 or 1986, but that's insane, right? So you have a coach that they were just saying ain't shit on the Dolphins, comes over here to the Eagles, does it because before that he was with the Jets, right?
No, I believe he was the head coach of the Broncos. He
The
may
Bron.
have did something for a little bit because I know he got fired from the Broncos before Hackett came in. So for that year, I don't know where he was.
Mm-hmm. But when he got the Dolphins job, everybody wanted his fucking neck. Got fired from the Dolphins, went to the Eagles. Showed he played the cover. What was it? Like a cover four shell? Like all he did was.
Oh yeah, he didn't send a blitz at all. This four-man rush the whole game, and the D line showed that like right before the game, we were talking in our group chat, who do y'all like final picks type shit, and everyone was against Corey because Corey was talking out his ass, rightfully so. Looking back on it, hey, he said 2 possessions, he was being nice. I was like, bro, you win the game in trenches. O line, D line, number one in both sides. Like they didn't even need to send a blitz, which is just crazy though. Because when you watch the game, you're like, yeah, Mahomes was fucking fighting for his life in there. Multiple times, there was like back-to-back sacks. It was like, fight back, Mahomes, fight back, like do something. And fucking Brandon was fucking the one with like Graham. It was a hit to the helmet, but who gives a fuck at that point? The game's probably over. But they was on his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably best defensive Super Bowl performance ever because like
I don't know.
The Legion of Boom. The only other thing that comes to mind is the Legion of Boom because that was the number one offense in Peyton Manning and them boys.
Them boys broke records.
They also get like a special teams touchdown too that game. Like it was like
it was just Percy Harvin scored the kickoff return. I was at your house when we watched this.
Yeah, okay, but that was the only one that came to mind because when they said that, I was like going down a quick list in my head, and I was like, I think Legion of Boom just because the circumstances of going up against a team that just like broke all the records and for offensive like scoring and what they did to them, but that was like 10 years ago at this point. So like in recent memory, this is by far the best defensive Super Bowl we've seen in a little bit. Just completely shut him down. People were breaking down Travis Kelce film where he was just giving up on plays. He was the last one off the snap. He wasn't able to make blocks. And when he did make a block, it looked terrible. People are showing that like his age is really showing. DeAndre Hopkins literally retires after this game.
He looked terrible.
So, and then they sold like 66 of their, it was like 60% of their cap, their salary next year is taken up by 5 players. Mahomes, Kelce, and like 2 offensive linemen and Chris Jones. So they're like, well, Chiefs got a long road forward if they're going to come back to the Super Bowl. Whereas the Eagles kind of are primed to make this run back to back the next 3 years. So it's looking good for the Eagles building. And Jalen Hurts MVP.
Yeah, that's like what the point I was making. Like motherfucking. These mother truckers are diamonds. Like they came through when that pressure came, they became diamonds. All the Chiefs, they had all these miscues. The offense got shut down. The defense is literally getting cooked on man all day. Like when literally the first over the top throw, because I was like, I called this. I was waiting for the AJ Brown, Trent McDuffie over the top. And Jalen Hurts saw Trent McDuffie one-on-one with AJ Brown, and he did this. He said, "Oh, we taking a shot." He took the
Fourth
shot.
down too.
AJ Brown got the pass, offensive pass interference. But it's like, yo, this was the energy that they were fucking coming with. Like they didn't fear this team. They didn't give a shit about this team. And they came in there and bust their ass. And like the Chiefs, even when the Chiefs were losing, like when it was 10-0, I called my dog, I called Ross. And I was like, oh, this is where we want them. I would be scared if the fucking Chiefs were up right now. The fuck? That doesn't even sound right. But when he threw that pick six to Cooper DeJean, I was like, oh, this is when the mistakes start happening. Now niggas is getting stupid penalties. Like there was one penalty, they had the fucking Eagles on 2nd and 26. And I think this motherfucker got, was it a hands to the face or a roughing the passer? He got a stupid ass penalty, 1st and 10. And that was the drive where AJ Brown scores. So it's like, yo, not only did this team, you made them quit. Like you genuinely made them give up. The only person that looked like he was grinding the whole fucking game was Patrick Mahomes. Chris Jones over here falling off the bench and shit because D Hop dropping passes and shit. Like,
yeah, that was.
They just look. This does not look like a team that's already won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, fucking. Oh, yeah. Jalen Hurts was the first quarterback. They were like quarterback rematches in the Super Bowl. The quarterback that won was 4-0. So he's the first quarterback to actually beat the guy that beat him in the bowl. So 4-1 now. And it's just crazy, bro, because I thought the Eagles were gonna win, but I just didn't think it was gonna be like this. It was similar to like Washington, the way that they just kind of handled like just completely handled them.
Yeah, they made the Chiefs look like they weren't supposed to be there. Like this game right here showed me that the Bills matchup would have been terrible. The Bills would have got their ass beat. The only team that would have matched up decent with them boys is the Ravens. And the only reason why I even slightly had doubt in the Eagles was because I saw the Rams were supposed to beat them boys. If the Rams O line doesn't sell twice, Matthew Stafford comes through and gives them that work. But it's football, baby. The whole team got to be good for the whole game. So shout out the fucking Eagles for busting that ass like that. And it's crazy because this team was the same team in week 3. Their own fans were screaming to take their coach's own job.
Yeah, no, and that's why I brought that up on the pre-picks. Was like, how do you as a fan, Corey, feel about Sirianni? Because it's like the fan base is so there's like people that are just chilling, but there's also people that are so dead in their way, like Sirianni got to go, shit like that. And I'm just like, right, Sirianni's 2 Super Bowls in 4 years, won the second one at this point, and he's going into his last year of the contract, so like they got to get him extended. You don't ever want to go into your last year, and Ben Johnson just got like fucking 14 million a year. So he should get some type of bag.
Brett, being a coach going into your last year of the contract with 2 Super Bowl appearances and you're the winning Super Bowl coach, oh, you finna get the bag. I didn't know because I was explaining to Ross, I was like, yo, coaches don't have a cash salary cap. So like they can pay whatever the owner has money to pay them. So like you can argue a bag on this one, kid. Like if I'm him, I'm starting off at 16. Maybe if I'm outrageous, like I'm starting off at 20 and then working my way down. But I'm not making nothing less than 15.
Yeah, and especially coming off the Super Bowl, and this unit dies for like Sirianni. Like the team literally loves this dude. Like no matter what the media and the press and the team loves this dude, and they're like as long as you don't fuck up what's going on, they're primed. Like because they lost the court when they went to the Super Bowl that year. They lost both their coordinators, and people were like, "Oh, what's Sirianni going to do now?" Like he lost the people that was play calling this and that, and went out, got fucking Kellen Moore, who is going on to take on the Saints' new job, and then Vic Fangio, who might stay around. Who knows what he might do, but like they've been there, done that. Like this is the guy who's already seen that adversity and has brought you a Super Bowl 2 years after that. And team wise, the unit's not going to change. Like you got the quarterback of future. You got Saquon, who's looking like to be back in his prime. An O line who had people that retire, and you literally brought in people to replace and plug it, made magic out of a D line. That's the defense all around. You got 2 rookie corners on rookie contracts that are two of the best at their position right now. Darius Slade, the mentor, who if is probably gonna run it back after winning the bowl. You got CJ in the back, like fucking Zach Bond, who no one wanted, like Jalen Carter, a rookie contract. Like you got the unit for the next 5 years. Like just keep Sirianni and this is the Eagles team. I wouldn't be shocked if we're talking in this time next year.
Yeah, they fucked them boys up, and like they did their thing throughout the season. Like no teams was fucking with them after they lost. But they did lose to the Commanders, but that was to Kenny. There was a whole lot that went into that game.
It
But
was a 33-36 game with all that shit.
yeah. But yeah, the game was fire, kid. But we gotta talk this halftime show. How did you? Because we know how I felt, but how did you feel about the halftime show?
So first, my song didn't hit. Neither one of our songs hits. I was like, damn.
He didn't even play my shit at all.
Yeah, yeah. He kind of so. At first, I was like, damn. I wish he did play some of the more of the hits that like I know because like I didn't bump the last two albums like super heavy as I did some of like the shit when we were in school and stuff. And so did I know all the songs? Not as much, but I knew there was more going on than my untrained eye could comprehend in the moment just because I know who he is. So I was just enjoying the vibe. I was trying to catch everything going on. Was I blown away in the moment? Honestly, no. But I knew I was like, I was like, I'm just waiting for like the Reddit piece to drop to be like, so I can truly understand like, oh, okay, this is what everything that was kind of going on. I like some of the stuff like Uncle Sam, like some of the stuff was like in your face, can't be that stupid. I did like the little come back to it, come back to it. Um, I thought the performance was great. I don't think the hate is warranted because there is a lot of fucking worst Super Bowl halftime all time. Some of those people I feel like also didn't were in the same boat as me, probably didn't comprehend as much, but they didn't want to go comprehend. Like they didn't want to see the art behind it because it's artistry. It wasn't just like songs put together for your enjoyment. Like he was making a bigger statement on the biggest stage and then did the biggest fuck you of all time.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. We appreciate your sentiments. That shit was fire. I was watching that bitch too lit, right? So obviously I'm a Kendrick fan. I've been calling Kendrick the GOAT like for a few albums now. And like it was very much like how when niggas started calling Braun the GOAT back in like 2013. And then now it's 2025. You're still seeing him do
Still
GOAT
talking
shit.
about him.
Yeah, you feel me? So like it was one of those situations. Like I was saying Kendrick was the GOAT when Damn came out. And like niggas looked at me like I was stupid. So I took the time to go back to listen to Jay-Z, listen to all these niggas, Tupac, all them boys. And I was like, Kendrick watching these niggas. But like I sound crazy. I sound so crazy when I say that to older heads. So I never so I stay quiet. Nigga ain't drop an album for 4 years. Came out, dropped the album, wasn't a 10 out of 10. Came back, dropped this shit. I fucking enjoyed it like it was a 10 out of 10. And he's having the hottest year ever, kid. So he brings the five, he just got 5 Grammys, and he brings that energy to the Super Bowl where he disses his biggest op in front of 133 million motherfuckers. 133 million viewers, Paul.
Yeah, it broke the record.
You feel me? Like, do you understand how I'm saying that? Well, first off, I don't think that record matters because the fact that it only broke the record by like 3 million. And this was the record was Michael Jackson before like streaming was a thing, before YouTube was a thing. The YouTube literally got started so people could go see Janet Jackson's nipple on the nip slip and shit like that. But that's literally the exact reason why YouTube became a thing. So like for that Michael Jackson one to have that many motherfucking views and shit like that is insane. I think numbers don't matter or is different. But Kendrick did what he did. And when I listened to the niggas that hated, like, I walked up to work today and then look, you literally niggas weren't even talking about Kendrick even a little bit. But there's a thirsty nigga praying for attention. He goes, that shit was trash. That whole halftime show was trash. Nobody said anything about the Super Bowl or nothing. You wanna know what I did?
Well,
I walked right past them and I continued to go to the desk. I printed out what I needed to print out and I kept it moving because I'm just like, oh, everybody's entitled to opinion, bro. Because now you're just looking at it like, hey, bro, if I told you to suck a dick, I'm doing myself a disservice. Because, like, obviously, you're not trying to get it. And it's okay. Because guess what the fuck we did? Went stupid. This nigga Kendrick brought out the baddest bitch in the game right now. And motherfucker had Serena Williams crip walking in this motherfucker while Samuel L. Jackson doing the narration.
Yeah, so
It,
the crib walk to me was the hardest part because a lot of people took it as the Drake X thing, which I was like, I felt like that surface level. I was like, people forget when she crip walked when she won gold, and people like gave her so much shit about about doing like tennis is a white sport, and she's crip walking, and she was getting fucking all over like fucking ESPN, Fox, all that shit. Like, oh, disgrace, da da da. So here she is on the biggest stage in front of the biggest viewership, and she's crip walking because this is what America wanted to see. Like, this is the fucking now look, like I like y'all, like tore me down for it, and here I am on the biggest stage doing it. Fuck you, type shit.
suck a dick.
Like that's what. So if you were trying to tie it back to Drake, I was like, y'all are just doing like I didn't want to say Dickie and Drake, but like that's kind of what the vibes was.
I think he did this when he dissed Drake. He wasn't like it wasn't subliminal. This nigga when he looks in the camera, say Drake.
No,
Like you feel me?
that shit was so purposeful. I was like, right, he found the camera, rehearsed this, was gonna fucking like because we were like, is he gonna say his name? Yep, he did. And he changed his lyrics to songs for to work into like and like so that shit right there, like that's a different level to be able to like change lyrics and flow onto a song that you already did. Like, I don't know. Like I was like artistry, like you got like the people some people just want to hear some fucking bangers and fucking like it's the radio. Yeah, I know all the
Mm.
songs I can sing along. That wasn't what this he wasn't the target audience. Okay. I'm sorry.
And he's a hip hop artist. Like that's my biggest thing, right? Like when Shakira and J Lo did their thing, that shit was phenomenal. Fire. When the weekend did his thing, shit was tough. Everybody was inside except us. We was outside because we was in Tampa going stupid with it. When Dre and them boys came through, Dre spent an extra 10 million. I think 11 and 11 million to put together that performance. So the fact that he put that up as a one man fucking show, he brought out one guest. That was it. He didn't need to bring out 50 motherfuckers, all this extra shit.
He brought
Oh,
mustard.
he brought mustard. Yeah. He did bring mustard. He did bring mustard. Mustard. He went stupid with it. He had fun and he made it a spectacle. And he did it on the grandest stage of them all. And guess what? Game over, bitches.
Yeah, no, and then like the artistry where like they made the shapes of the buttons and well, I'm sorry, there's like a 5 minute video where someone like was breaking it down a little bit further, and like all it takes 5 minutes if you really didn't want if you really want to know what makes people because I don't know if to untrained eye if half the audience are like I fucking love this fucking yeah this is the greatest thing ever, the other half's like boo. I would feel like well I would want to see why y'all feel like it's a 10 out of 10 like and then if you take the time to actually hear why it was fucking open, knowledge. I don't know. Some people just don't want to. People want to be stuck in their ways. I guess. I felt like it was
And,
a banger.
and I think the best part about it is the entire essence of this beef. Because we could bring out I could actually pull up the numbers of
Oh, you
yeah,
talking
I'm
about
gonna
how
put
it started? It's because like Cole and him saying that they could have been big as Super Bowl.
kind of that's facts. But the beef started off the basis that just like I'm trying to say this precisely. So the beef started off of the basis that like, oh, I have more fans than you. Like I got more reach than you. I got more influence than you. And Kendrick was like, shut up, nigga. Like what? There's a difference between you being a culture vulture and your fans being fans of pop music, fans of fans that are wanting to be black. Like the people that you think that the culture that had nothing to do with you. So what he did was he brought the culture to the grandest stage of them all. There's a scene, I forget, I can't tell you, there's a spot. My favorite part of the entire show was when he did Man at the Garden, but he didn't do it to the Man at the Garden beat. He did it to the niggas, to the dudes that under the light, and they was like, That's niggas on the block selling crack.
Yeah.
He turned that into some artistry. And like these are gangbangers waiting on the block to see if somebody steps in their territory. He brought that and turned that into the artistry. And he turned it into something beautiful. Like that's what I saw. And then because at first I agreed it wasn't that great at the beginning, but once I started recognizing the things he was doing different, the cues, and the biggest thing to me is this nigga didn't have the fucking song playing in the background. He had the instrumental, and all the vocals was him.
Yeah, that's something you don't see a lot of days in this
That's
performance.
old school.
Yeah,
That's real old school shit. I go to concerts all the time. The only person I've seen do that was J. Cole.
yeah,
Wayne,
they don't do that no more.
Wayne might have did it, but I can't quote. Don't quote me. But that's how like the entire essence of this halftime show was so fire to me. The dude's custom, the custom Martine Rose jacket was fucking phenomenal. Like Jit put together and made that shit fun. He made it lit and he did it. So I enjoyed every second of the Super Bowl. I didn't know I was a Chiefs hater until I motherfucking watched the Eagles bust their ass. And I didn't know how fucking goated my fucking goat was until I seen him do it on the grandest stage in the mall.
And overall, great, great halftime, great Super Bowl. All my bets kind of cash was just kind of the cherry on top. I had a great night. If y'all didn't know, Eagles first quarter, Eagles first half, Dallas got it under tails, fucking yellow Gatorade, over on the national anthem. Boy, I was cooking the boys up. And the best part of us, the Harrison Buckner kicks I gave out, since he didn't attempt a kick, they refunded that money. It was as if he didn't play. So I was like, oh, like even the ones I would have potentially been else wasn't even an L because I was like, damn, I bit the bullet on those. Like, damn, well at least I made all that. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, voided, voided, voided. And I was like, oh, he never played. How could he be made a kick? Yeah, of course I get the money
Nah,
back.
nah. Oh yeah, because that nigga, because they only hit fucking 2 points because they was getting their ass
If I
beat
would
so
have
bad.
made a bet like Jake Elliott makes more points than him or something, then I would have lost those. But mine were his longest attempt is 48 yards or more, 50 yards or more. He never attempted, so that shit never counted.
Nice.
But yeah, good at. We can't wait to run it back. We're not going nowhere. Locking into the UFC and boxing. Boxing's been on a heater for these past few weeks. We're going to carry it all the way to Cinco de Mayo. UFC never stops, never stops. Left and right pay per views. Stay tuned for the recap coming later this week. We'll be back for another great episode of the NFL. We still got what the draft spectacular coming up. Few off season. If something crazy in the off season happens, you know we'll be here to talk it. And then we'll be back around August, same time as usual, to talk that NFL preseason takes.
Ah, that shit is lit, man. We enjoy this fucking dude. This what's this season number 3?
I believe so.
This shit is beautiful. We
But
saw the Rams do it. We saw the Chiefs do it twice, and now we've seen the Eagles do it. So yeah, this is 4.
and if y'all didn't know, now you know, motherfuckers.